All right, good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are having a great end to the week. I'm sure actually going into a busy weekend. So I am Drew Demery. If I don't know you, welcome. And so we are going to do a 30-minute session on what we call Idea Factory. And so this session is going to be recorded, and I will send this to you via email that you registered with. But our goal is to have every Friday give you some new ideas of how to attract leads, convert leads, and to just gain more business in this market. So it'll be today, August 4th, the 11th, the 18th, and the 25th. And then we'll be going over some tools and some websites. All that'll be emailed to you, so don't worry about that yet. I always believe you should take notes. So if you want to grab a notebook, a piece of paper, an envelope, a napkin, whatever you can do to do so, you can also take some screenshots of things as we go forward. And to honor your time, I'm going to kind of jump right in. It is like basically right at 30 minutes. So it's 10 o'clock. And so we'll kind of hop right in. One of the first things I wanted to do is talk about the market itself. Obviously, we're based in Richmond, Virginia. We have people that are outside of our market, but I think it's always a good indication of when we're coming up with all these great and wonderful ideas. It's to create more business. So what I have done is I've actually let me exit out of this. I will actually go into what our CBR MLS is in our area. And so if you haven't looked at it, I want you to just follow along real quickly with me. July numbers are up there. So when you log into MLS, you're going to go into market stats and it pulls this up. What I do to modify, so I look at this every month. It roughly is 4 to 5 days after the month has ended. So this, if you see here, this is telling you July's year to date for July. Obviously, we're in August. So I modify it in resale because most of my coaching clients base a lot of their business in resale. I also change this to a bar graph instead of a line graph because who the heck can read anything in that kind of situation? I do 3 years because 1 year is never a trend. And then I like to do year to date. So we kind of have a good snapshot of everything. So I'm just going to go over this very quickly just to get a pulse on kind of where the market is before we jump into these fun ideas. And you guys know this every day because you're in the trenches, right? So sales prices on average are still up, right? 396 is the average. Crazy 2 years ago, we were at like less than 350 and we're almost clipping at 400. So that is up. New listings is down overall, right? We had 13,000 year to date last year and 10,000 this year. Pending sales, I'm going to skip around. Pending sales is down. We had almost 11,500 last year. We had over 13 the year before, so we're just under 10,000. Closed sales 8,000. But I want to pause here. That's 8,700 homes that have sold in the Richmond market that are resale. So there's still plenty of houses selling. And we all know that days on market has gone up. The average is now 19, right? Remember then when the days few 3 4 years ago it was like 4, right? Supply is also going up. So we're obviously seeing more listings and they are sitting on the market a little longer. And then final thing I wanted to just show you is dollar volume. We are down about 18%. So why do we start with that? I don't want to generally start with something like this with kind of a buzzkill, but there's two takeaways with this. First of all, there's plenty of inventory and there's plenty of opportunity for those that are willing to work and put forth the actual efforts. So one of the things that we're going to talk about today is yes ideas, but one of the things that we coach people across the United States, we also coach in Canada. Universally, these are some of the activities that it's more of the mindset and the approach that our clients are taking. And we're seeing them actually hit their goals, exceed their goals. But it's not for the faint of heart, right? So, first thing is every client that is succeeding or hitting their goals that we coach at the Freedom Companies is doubling down on our activities. It's requiring more energy and more time. I'll tell you, MG is our director of training. Myself, I'm the director of coaching here at our organization, and we're doubling down on our activities as well. There's some vendors on this call today, and I know you're doubling down in your activities. And so one thing that means is requiring more energy and more time, right? So we're spending more hours working to convert more leads, and obviously they're not converting as quickly as we all hope them to be, right? So I just want to remind you that energy is connected. Obviously, your brain is connected to your body, right? And so I want to make sure you understand that nutrition, that sleep, that fitness is connected to that mind. So if you're feeling a little sluggish, feel like you're working a lot of extra hours, I would challenge you, implore you to look at the physical body because it's connected to that brain. Second thing that we're doing, and a lot of our clients are doing, is looking at our unnecessary expenses. When we were going through the pandemic, we were spending money on different things. We were trying different technology, obviously adapting to the market. And a lot of those $9.95, $29.95 a month subscriptions popped into our credit card statements. So look at those, specifically starting with your personal expenses. I'll tell you that we have chopped our personal expenses 2 different times. We go the first round and see what are those ancillary extra things that we don't need to be doing. Secondary is what things can we live without. Then we go into business expenses. I often see people go into business slashing first, but let's be honest, if we need to trim some fat, it really needs to start with our personal things. I want to make sure with this mindset, though, that cutting expenses doesn't mean you're failing, doesn't mean that you're not succeeding. It's meaning that you're a smart business person, right? Because as your business grows, you have different systems and models and technology that maybe you've adapted or bolted onto your business, and maybe it's redundant. We'll give a specific example. We started using a new CRM. We also had an email platform that we were paying for. We're paying for 2 services that essentially did the same thing because the one was started, the second was adapted over time, right? So we're limiting one of those expenses because it doesn't make sense because we're paying two items to do the same activity, right? We're also going to go into some fun activities, but I want to make sure you guys are aware of that face-to-face meetings will always and forever make the biggest impact over marketing. I think sometimes social media gives us the false impression that face-to-face is happening. Yes, they're seeing video. Yes, they're seeing your social media posts. Yes, they're liking and subscribing or sharing your content. But human to human, there's nothing better to connect from a communication standpoint than face-to-face. So what does that look like? A lot of our clients are just committing to consistent coffee and lunches, right? 2 coffees a week, 1 lunch a week, right? And being strategic with who you are in front of, not necessarily always hanging out or working with those that have already given you business, but being really intentional about imploring people that maybe are on the fringe or that maybe you have built relationships with, but you need to strengthen. So those face-to-face meetings, maybe it's not the newest idea, but it is the most beneficial idea that we're seeing. Number 4, remembering the 80-20 rule. 20% of your focus activities will produce 80% of results. So that concept of less is more. I don't know if you've ever read this book, Atomic Habits. It's like our heart here at the Freedom Companies. And atomic means small, right? Small habits, right? So sometimes we're seeing agents that are doing too many activities instead of drilling down into being very intentional on the 3 to 4 that they really know produce results, that they like, they enjoy, and they actually can do consistently. So that's kind of a little coach talk just to get you started before we kind of launch into some fun ideas. All right. So these are some ideas. There's, I think we did 3 or 4 today. We're going to do them every Friday to give you some new, fresh ideas, some fun ideas. Make sure you don't get lost in the sauce, meaning don't get lost in the details. Some of this you can adapt, modify based on your budget, based on your market, based on your experience, the size of your database. So just get some inspiration, get some thought process around maybe some fun ideas. So we all know that in a natural sales funnel, whether you're selling hot dogs, cars, real estate, right? It all starts with what we call that traditional sales funnel, right? New customers on top, current clients are what we call repeat clients in the middle. And of course, the goal is to get those face-to-face appointments because we know once you're in front of them, you're going to shine and be the rock star that you are, which leads to transactions. And then it leads to an income for your family or for your business, right? So we know that. And so the reason why I bring that up is because when we're going with these fun ideas, we're tapping into these funnels, right? We're tapping into new ideas for new customers. We're tapping into new ideas to really love on our current clients and so on and so forth. So I want to remind you of that sales funnel. It's basic, and yet sometimes we get lost in the transaction or we need the money, right? Sometimes we get so focused on the appointments that we've got to realize in order to set those appointments, we actually have to go at the top of that funnel, right? All right. The last thing before we go into the ideas is that I always say this at any coaching or training that I do is that real estate, prospecting, and marketing, it's the same package. We're just looking for ideas to change the wrapping paper, right? So I don't know if you've been to any trainings or panel discussions or workshops, and these really highly successful that build out large businesses that have scalable teams that are killing it in the production level of their business, you go, oh wow, it's like about relationships, right? So a lot of times what we're looking for in these new ideas, we're like looking for this silver bullet or this new idea. I will tell you, it's the same package. We're just trying to find some fun, sexy new way to show the consumer that we're out there, right? Because we know that we want them to like us, trust us, and remember us. So a lot of times what we're doing, you may have done some of these ideas and maybe let's just give it a little facelift. Let's wrap it in new wrapping paper, because a lot of experiences with our clients are showing us they're not doing new things. They're just making it look new. That makes sense. They're not doing new things. They're just making it look new, right? They're keeping it fresh. They're keeping the perspective of different things. So I just want you to kind of go into that mindset. The last thing I would say is here at the Freedom Companies, we always say you have to own your freedom by owning your future. What I mean by that is that we all want the freedom and the flexibility of what entrepreneurship brings, but we are only in control of the activities we're doing today to control the activities of our future. So if you're not hitting your goals, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling tired, if you feel like you're not having the structure you need today, we can change that in the future with certain activities, right? So that's why we're excited about coaching and training people. So what you all came for, which I love to do, is let's share some ideas. So the first one is what we call a car wash. So we all know that open houses are back. And if you've not done an open house, shame on you. You need to get back in it because the houses are staying on the market longer. We know we've got some inventory out there that we want to obviously produce results for our sellers, right? We want to show them value because now it's no longer the stick a sign in the yard and put it in MLS and get 25 offers, right? So getting back to those open houses, but we're creating an event. So one of our clients was really creative and it was a super fun idea. They created a car wash. So the house had what those U-shaped driveways, and doesn't mean you necessarily have to have the same shape of driveway, but they asked the seller if they could allow them to do a car wash in the front of the house, obviously using their water and their hose and things like that. And they partnered with a local church or nonprofit, and they called, text, emailed, door knocked the neighborhood and said, hey, we're having a neighborhood car wash for free. And while you're getting your car washed, check out this newest listing. So if you've ever been to a car wash, it's a genius idea, right? So as they're vacuuming your car and as they're running it through the car wash, right? If you're having it professionally done, you're sitting back, playing on your phone, sitting on the bench, reading a book, whatever you may do. Instead, now you have a captured audience and the neighbors are coming in. So you're like, hey, Drew, but they're not buyers, right? Well, we know listings, leads, leverage, right? So what is the better opportunity to connect with the neighborhood, get to talk to them about what they're doing, what improvements they've done, what they love about the neighborhood while their car is being washed and vacuumed out. So my thought, especially connecting it with something that's been successful with one of our clients, is done, partner with a nonprofit, right? Something that they could do that. And then maybe the tips that they provide will go to a charity or cause. Obviously, you can make a donation as the real estate agent on behalf of them. This is great stuff for social media. It's a great way to door knock and connect with people inside your database. And then I clicked on this because I want to see this. I want you to see this. This is one of our real estate brand partners here at the Freedom Companies. And I literally went to her website, richmondbrandingco.com. And I literally said, car wash. And I was like, what kind of fun swag could we do for car wash, right? So there's literally fun, simple things that you could do. Little air fresheners, right? Everybody needs an air freshener after their car. Little microfiber like towels that they could use later, things like that. So little things that are very inexpensive. I mean, this stuff is literally like $1.25. This stuff is like $1.50, $1.80 for something like that. So I'll send you a link for this, but think about the fun idea of doing a car wash. And then let's say you're like, Drew, I don't want to use their water. I don't know of a nonprofit. Name of the game, the idea behind this is make sure your open houses have an event feel. Food truck, huge, right? I had people doing like a taco bar, right? So inside the kitchen, they created like a buffet style taco bar, and everybody got, right when they walked in, they got 2 tickets for the taco bar. And again, maybe you're bringing all those ingredients from the Costco or Sam's Club of the world, or you've got a food truck out there, things like that. So make sure that number one, you're doing open houses, but number two, the idea is to make it an event. It's a way to get people out there. I love the car wash idea. I thought it was genius. I thought that it really provided value to the seller because they were like, hey, look at all these people. And then of course the win-win is partnering with a nonprofit. So let me know what you guys think about that, but that's been a huge opportunity and eye-opener for that. All right. The second thing, and the one thing that maybe you're already using these, is business cards. The physical printed business cards that we all have or have had, they're dying, right? And in my opinion, it's for a good reason. So the second idea is to take your business card and make it digital and lead capturing. So I don't know about you, I've been a real estate agent for 20 years and I've got business cards in my pocket or in my wallet, and I bump into somebody I've never met before, and I'm like, hey, I build up enough courage to have that conversation about real estate. And they're like, nah, I've thought about it. And I said, well, here's my card. Let me know if I can be of any service. We can start looking at houses. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to definitely call you. How many people actually call, right? They don't, right? So handing someone a business card, honestly, has not been this effective, especially going into the market. I'll tell you, here at the Freedom Companies, we used a card called DOT, D-O-T. It has the QR code. It's similar, but you know what? We're not going to use these anymore. And the reason why is because they don't do what we call that lead capture. So a lot of our clients are using a product, and there's a lot of different products out there that it's called Popl. So I'm going to show you. Popl is something that you can literally order online. You can customize it with your website, with your social media content and all that. I don't know why my little Popl is taking forever. All right, so the cool thing about this though, right? Obviously it has all your information, your like social media, it has graphics, right? So easy way to either scan or tap or things like that. So that's a cool way to kind of work your way through. But the biggest thing is that it actually has a way to capture the information, right? So the cool thing is that that's really the biggest thing. So when you're actually looking at it, it's going to actually ask them to put their contact information in as well, right? So the name, phone number, and email. So in my opinion, and based on what our coaching clients are seeing, is they're not using the paper business cards. They're using a digital business card that has a lead capture system in there, and many CRMs that we have seen actually link directly into this. So cool thing is, you're at the grocery store, you scan this barcode or tap someone, they get this great information. They ask the consumer for their name, phone number, and email. Yes, it goes into your phone, but it also goes into your CRM. We have a lot of clients use a lot of different CRMs, but we know, in fact, that Follow Up Boss is one CRM that uses that connectivity to this type of digital platform. So I want you to think about, what's an idea of how you gain more leads? What's an idea that you're out and about, maybe at dinner or at a happy hour, and you bump into somebody and you don't feel comfortable enough to possibly go for the, hey, can I grab your contact information, right? If you use Popl, it does some of the heavy lifting for you, and it sends a report. It gives you updates on when and how much information they've given you, okay? So just want you to think outside the box when it comes to new ideas and double down on that. So this is a fun twist on something that maybe you've seen in the past. So, right, we know testimonials are super important to our business, right? I know that if I'm going to a new taco restaurant or a new pizza shop, I'm going to go on and see if it's any good. I'm going to look at the reviews. Well, in the real estate space or in the vendor space, we know that they do that as well. We coach people to use Google primarily as a source of pulling their testimonials, Facebook business pages, and Zillow. And so one of the things that we have seen is, yes, we've increased that, but then you're putting them on social media with like just a graphic, right? So it's like, hey, Drew's amazing coach and XYZ, and you put this pretty little graphic. But what is one thing we absolutely know? We absolutely know that in the world of social media, that video is the key. So the cool idea, the fun idea here, and this is one of our clients is doing this, is that they're hosting a family photo shoot for the upcoming holiday card, right? So they're actually setting up two little areas, one that has more of like the traditional holiday theme with maybe a Christmas tree, and then one that's a little bit more neutral. And so when they're inviting their past clients, their pipeline, their database, their friends, they're inviting everyone to this event. What they're doing is then saying, hey, we're going to provide you with a free digital copy of your holiday card image of your family, right? Maybe it's with the puppies, maybe it's with the kids, maybe it's with the grandkids. So everybody can get dressed up, and hair and makeup is all done, and then you show up, and in the lighting and the stage is set up for that photo. Well, we know that photos take a minute, right? Everyone has to smile and get everybody positioned. So as these families or these clients or customers are waiting their turn in line, what we are then having our clients do, which is super fun, is the ones that are their clients, in fact, we are sending them an email prior and asking them to do a video testimonial, right? So we're asking them to go in another room, separate video, again, with permission, kind of coaching them through the best practice. We're looking for a 30 to 60 second video testimonial about how great a real estate agent you really are. So win-win, right? So you're connecting with past clients and future clients through doing a photo shoot. The second thing is you're gaining testimonials that are video based, not just graphically based on like Canva. You're actually, then you can actually paste those out on your social media pages. You can edit those, and it's again 30 seconds, 60 seconds max. And let's say you do this event, you get 6 to 10 people, right, that do this testimonial. You can put that on your website. You can pin and tag them to social media posts. And we all know that when I hear a consumer giving feedback on a restaurant, a service, or a product, they're more likely to purchase that product. I mean, TikTok is a walking, talking billboard of video testimonials, right? So think about that. A little twist on that is maybe doing your next event, doing this holiday fun photo shoot. But the twist of the idea, the golden idea, is to get those testimonials in video format rather than just copying and pasting them from the digital space of Google or Facebook business page or Zillow. All right. So that's just a couple ideas. All right. We have 6 minutes left because I want to respect your time. So I appreciate you guys all hanging out with me. This one is the most basic and the most genius idea at the same time. And when MG and I coach and train people, this is always in our trainings because it is an easy thing, but it's a lost art, but it has the most impact on more listings. So we call it the equity report, right? So we are providing a template letter with a quick CMA, nothing big, nothing, just a down and dirty market CMA. We're putting a personalized note in there, a little post-it note that says, hey, I hope you're doing well. And I just want to let you know how much equity you have in your home, and then throwing your business card in there. We're recommending you mail it and email it, both, right? Because some households, somebody gets the mail, somebody gets reads the email, or maybe you only have one email of the family. Obviously, we always coach that never send anything in a white envelope, do a bright color or do a color that's connected to your brokerage or the brand inside of your company. We use lime green because our colors are blue and green. So it's literally letting them know what the equity report is. And so basically the letter says this. It says, hey, I can't believe that you bought your home in 2019 for $350,000, and just looking at basic comps right now, your house is most likely in between the values of 450 to 500. Now, I'm sure you've done improvements, and if you are looking to either cash out on that equity, I'd love to talk to you about coming in person to see those improvements, because then we can narrow down a more specific price, and you may never know, you may actually get more than we have estimated based on just general comps. So it's allowing them to start to see a glimpse into the idea of cashing in on that equity. And I always coach people to say, it's not what they paid today in real estate. We always talk about interest rates and the price of the house, right? Negotiating the deal today. No one has gotten rich on real estate or built wealth on real estate on what they paid today. What they got rich on and what they gained wealth on is what they sold it for in the future, right? So what our clients are doing is they're taking their entire database of past clients and they're dividing it up. So what that means is if they have sold 40 homes in the last, let's say, year or 2 years, they're saying, all right, how long is it going to take me to get 40 of these equity letters out? They divide it up. And so oftentimes they're doing 2, if not 3 a week. I remember at the beginning of the session, I said, you got to double down, right? So you know what? Don't make this complicated. Get the list, pull the equity reports, the quick CMA reports, customize the equity report letter and get it out. Don't go down the rabbit hole of very customized CMAs, because I always say you haven't been hired yet, so don't spend your time and money on it because you haven't been paid, right? So equity reports are a great way to touch your database, even for clients that purchased last year. So maybe you're saying, hey, I sold 7 houses last year and I shouldn't send this. You know what? You should send an equity report every year. If you do stocks, stock market bonds, anything like that, your financial investor advisor always does an annual update. He tells you, what are you doing, how well your investment is going. Yes, I will be sending you the equity report letter. So Sherry, don't worry, I got you. All right. And the last thing is just to let you know that we are doing a ton of goal. I know it's crazy, but 2024 is here, y'all, right? So I know we have 5 months left. In my opinion, we have 4 because holiday, November, December gets a little soft with a lot of things that happen in the world of personal life. So we are going to be starting goal setting workshops in September. Yeah, September, next month. Crazy, right? September and October are busier months with goal setting. Why is that? Because we know that business is 60 to 90-day cycles in real estate. So if you do goal planning in December, you're not going to get business, especially because of implementation and just learning curves and activities and habits, January, February, March. You're not going to get any additional traction out of that plan until February or March. I don't know about you, but my mortgage is due every month, right? So if you are a team or a brokerage that you need training or workshops, reach out to us. We have some vendor partners that are doing them. We are doing them brokerage specific and team specific. So obviously that pricing will vary depending on the size of the group and things like that. But if you've ever been to one of our workshops, our goal setting workshops, they're 4 hours. They're jam-packed with information, not just the numbers, some creative ideas, just like the Idea Factory today. We'll give you a lot more, and they all come with a printed workbook. The other thing is, if you need to reach out to me, so I put a QR code on here. Hey, let's have a chat. It's never a bad time to invest in coaching, especially now. Some of these ideas are coming from our coaching clients, but we have literally hundreds of ideas, right? So what I'd love for you to do is, if you think coaching may be what you need, we have new budget structures, we have new time structures. We're really doing everything we can to accommodate and get everybody into coaching and training. And I know in the past, we kind of have just like 1 or 2 pricing structures, but we're really doing our best to accommodate everyone's budget. And the last big thing is, please email me if you have any ideas for the Idea Factory. Our goal is to do this every Friday. right? So the next one will be August 11th. And so if you have any fun ideas, I'll give you credit. I'll give you the shout out. Email me at drew@thefreedomcompanies.com. If you've tried something that's amazing, I feel like the best part about the industry that we're in is that we're always full of new ideas. We always come with our own twist or spin on things. And like I said at the beginning, it's the same package. We're just trying to wrap it in new wrapping paper, right? So I want you to go into some of these ideas that I shared with you today and just put your twist on it, put your wrapping paper on it. So I will email you the presentation today. I'll email you the recording today. I'll email you the links to all the websites and resource tools that I mentioned, as well as that cover photo for the equity report. And if you want to sign up for next week, I will send a new link out for that. It's every Friday at 10 a.m. for 30 minutes. What time are we at? Oh, look, we're on time. So I hope you have a great and fabulous, amazing weekend. And I hope to see you next Friday on our next Idea Factory. And our goal is to keep giving you fun ideas to just keep chugging along. And remember those top 4 that we said at the beginning. Double down on the activities. Manage those expenses, starting with your personal stuff. Have those face-to-face conversations. Remember that 80-20 rule, right? 20% of those activities are going to give 80% of the results. So cut back on some of that stuff that's not working and focus and double down on the activities that are working, and have fun. Life is too stressful. Life is too short. And you know what? This is a damn amazing industry. And MG says this often in her trainings, in which she's spot on. We are in the best industry possible, right? We know housing, clothing, and food and shelter, like housing, clothing, and shelter. But housing, clothing, and food are the 3 necessities. We got to have a place to sleep, we got to wear some clothes, and we got to eat and have food in our belly, right? We are providing housing, a roof over their head. So we're in an industry that has an impact on that overall success. All right, y'all. Let me check the chat. I think we're good to go. All right. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you guys soon. And have a great weekend. Bye.